Hi, welcome to the Northwest Arkansas Musicians Connection Songwriters Circle. Hi, my name is Amanda Rey, and we are here at Nomad's Music Lounge. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Amanda. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. Can you go ahead and say your full name for the audience, please? Make sure we get it right on the spell check.
Betsy Brumley, Betsy Brumley.
And Betsy, what brings you here today?
Well, I am here to talk about a new festival coming to Northwest Arkansas called the Power of Music Festival.
The Power of Music Festival, when is this going to be taking place?
It's April the 27th through the 29th in April 2017, and it will be in Bentonville, Arkansas.
Bentonville. What is the inspiration behind this music festival?
Well, my grandfather wrote a song called I'll Fly Away.
I know that one.
And he actually wrote it here in Northwest Arkansas. Not a lot of people realize that this is the home of the most recorded song in history, is Northwest Arkansas.
The hymnal I'll Fly Away was written and recorded here in Northwest Arkansas?
It was written here, yes it was, and it's been recorded in every language on the planet, in every country.
That is fascinating. What year was that?
1932.
1932. So with that, what has happened since that song has been recorded? What is important about that for your family?
What is important is the fact that we still own it, which is pretty awesome. I love that. So we still have our music publishing company, but I also, 5 years ago, I started a nonprofit called the I'll Fly Away Foundation with a mission to improve people's lives through music.
So tell us a little bit about how do you improve lives through music?
Music is the heartbeat of any community, I believe. Music is a universal language that knows no barriers, doesn't know color, it doesn't know age, it doesn't know gender. It just is. It's part of who we are as human beings.
Yes.
And babies, the first thing they do is they'll start clapping, so they start making noise and humming and singing. So it's just something that's innate within us. So I think being able to bring that back to someone, if they've lost it or if they don't know how to get in touch with it through music, it just opens up a whole new world for them. So it really does improve their lives, their creativity, it builds confidence. It's a way to express yourself without having to talk.
I've seen videos, social media, all over the place where there are Alzheimer's patients that are completely lost to the disease and living in facilities where they cannot take care of themselves and their families cannot take care of them. And they have not been able to communicate for decades.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, music is played for them from their childhood, from the genre that they knew, and all of this, their faces light up. They're awake, and they begin to communicate through music, maybe not verbally, but through a memory that could not have been rejuvenated any other way.
Oh, absolutely.
So I fully believe you there.
Yeah, and it's a way, especially in today's age, there's so much going on. There's no silence anymore, but this is a way to just be with yourself. And because a song, even I'll Fly Away is a perfect example. It's been recorded 10,000 times, which means there's 10,000 versions out there. But to each person that hears it, it's an individual, personal thing. Even though no matter who sings it, it's still a personal thing. So it's a way to get our emotions out. And you think about it, if you were a teenage girl, how many times did you break up with a guy and the first thing you did was put a song on?
Every day. I'm still a teenage girl if that's the case.
Seriously, that's just, you put on a sad love song, and do your parents really need to know what just happened in your life? You don't have to tell them.
No.
You can express it through music, and it's a way of an understanding. And, because it is a universal language, it doesn't matter what country you come from. That song translates, that music translates. So it's a way to open up, like a handshake to other countries.
It's an icebreaker.
It's a great icebreaker to open up so many conversations.
I've been in many different places in the world where communication was not top level. It was not what you would expect. And whether it's riding on a trolley bus in downtown Memphis and you know no one, but there's a song overhead and you look down and everyone's kind of tapping their foot or nodding their head, and you have nothing in common with these people. One guy's going on his way to work to be a plumber, a lady's on her way home to take care of her 5 children, but for one brief moment they shared something that, how else would they have been able to do so?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Tell us more about this festival. I want to know what brought you to Bentonville.
Well, actually, I live up in Bentonville, so it's home.
Yes.
Which is awesome. And to me, it just made sense because we songwrite with kids. But since Grandpa wrote this song here, it just made sense to have a songwriter festival in the place where he wrote this song. It's in our soil, it's in our hills, it's in our soul. As Northwest Arkansas folk, as Ozarkans, as Mid-Americans, this is part of who we are. And this music that came from this region really is so woven into the fabric of this country.
Absolutely.
And people don't know that. They don't know where their songs come from.
So your mission is to bring awareness to that.
It is to bring awareness.
Did you ever get any insight into the inspiration of I'll Fly Away?
Yeah, Grandpa, he actually was born in Oklahoma, and he was a sharecropper's son. So he grew up picking cotton. And if you've ever once picked cotton, you'll never want to do it again because it's horrible. I've done it because I wanted to know what it was like.
I did it as a tourist once, and I still poked my finger.
Yeah, right, exactly. You're crazy. But he didn't want to do that. Grandpa had a love for music, so he went to Hartford, Arkansas, and learned how to write songs. And he had to come back to work with his parents. And he thought, if I had the wings of an angel, I could fly away, because he saw these birds flying. So he started composing. And then he started, the thought of the song was from that, from like, oh, I could write a song about this. But then he came back to Arkansas and started teaching singing schools, which you probably don't know what singing schools are. But they teach 4-part harmony and shape note singing. So what he would do is, at the Hartford Music Institute, they made songbooks once a quarter. And they had songwriters on staff, and they would put them in these songbooks and take them to the community and teach them the songs, and they would sing, and it would be a singing school, so they would learn to sing and learn the shape notes. And they would do that around the communities of Northwest Arkansas. And then sell their books. And then once a quarter, they would go back and sell the new books or go to new communities. And that's what they did.
How fascinating.
So he wrote songs as he traveled and as he sang and as he did these schools.
Did he ever have any idea the impact?
He, in 1976, he died in 1977. So in 1976, we did get an award for it being the most recorded gospel song in history. So he knew about that. But then he died in 1977. And really, it's taken on a life of its own after that. I mean, it's considered an American standard.
Absolutely.
So the 10,000 licenses I've been talking about have been since 1992. And the reason that is because we had no way of really tracking before that because it was so hard. We can't even track today, truly. That's just ones we know about.
I mean, you can't go into every church every Sunday and count. The churches don't pay BMI and ASCAP fees. That's the one thing about gospel music is it's not as copyrighted.
It's not tracked.
It's not as protected as it should be. So moving forward in your education and your Songwriters Festival, do you provide a level of education towards your songwriters to kind of help them protect themselves?
During the festival?
Yes.
Yeah, we are actually going to be having several panels. We have people coming in from Nashville and New York and actually around the world to come speak to different educational things like what is a PRO? Do you want to be a part of PRO? That kind of thing. Touring, what it's really like. Music journalism, how it can help you, how it can't. We have a panel on how to build a music city. So how to make your city into a musical place.
That sounds like something that we have needed around here for so long. Are there social media sites that we can find out more information? Can you list those for us?
The festival website is POMFestival, POMFestival.org, and then our Facebook page is Power of Music Festival. Our Twitter is Palm Festival, and our Instagram is Palm Festival.
Okay, make sure everybody you go and find those. It's very important, especially because of the fact that it seems so often that our society is disconnected from each other. Everyone is involved in their Facebooks and their phones and their Twitters, and it's like the only way you can get anybody's attention is with a hashtag anymore. True. And though it's great, the whole point of Facebook is for community. The whole point of social media is for community. And you bring it back to the music is the one thing that can bring everyone together.
Absolutely.
So for that festival, you may not have to necessarily be a songwriter to attend. You brought up music journalism. People have passions in photography and songwriting or story writing, and I just think that's wonderful that you touch on all those things.
We're going to have so many things. I mean, the Songwriters Festival, if no one's ever been, it's not a normal music festival.
Okay.
This is 2 or 3 people who've written songs up on the stage. You may not know their names, but you're going to know their songs.
Nice.
And they're going to tell you the story or the inspiration behind a song they've written. So, like, we have Dennis Morgan coming. Dennis has been writing songs from Aretha Franklin, Eric Clapton, Barbara Mandrell. He's written songs for everyone for the last 30-some years.
Y'all write that down. I need him.
He's in the Nashville Songwriters Association Hall of Fame. He's an NSAI Hall of Fame member. And Dennis is going to come tell us, why he thought of the song Smoky Mountain Rain. How did he write that song? We all know Smoky Mountain Rain.
Right.
Now, Ronnie Milsap did not write that song. Dennis wrote that song. So he's going to tell us the inspiration behind it, what he was going through at the time, where he was, and then he'll just sing it acoustically for
That's
us.
Beautiful.
And he'll be on the stage with 2 or 3 others. He's actually part of our Hall of Fame show. We're having Dennis, Roger Cook, and Richard Lee come. And those guys are Hall of Fame members. They're going to do a 2-hour show of the #1 hits they've written. So we're going to hear the stories behind these amazing #1 hits from the last 40 years that we all know as part of our daily lives. So we're going to get to know the stories behind them.
That is amazing. The reason I started the Songwriters Circle was for that reason. I found myself in my home, in my bedroom, with a piano and a guitar, struggling, frustrated, not knowing who to call, not knowing what questions to even ask, not knowing that there is an entire community of people out there that are just like that, that feel insecure, and the only time that they really not the only time, but the best time for them to flourish is when you all come together as a like-minded
You have a support
community.
system.
Yes, it really is a support system. And I'm just so grateful to be able to grow the Songwriters Circle and to meet people like you, because I want to go. I want front row passes to I want to be in and out of all of that, because that's the reason why we're here.
Right,
I'm
exactly.
fascinated by every part of that. What is another highlight of the festival that you would want to touch on?
On Saturday of the festival, it's April the 27th, 28th, and 29th. On Saturday is our Children or Family Day.
So tell us about the children. How do you get them involved?
Several different ways. In the festival, we're going to be having different artists they're going to be singing songs that were written for children, so that way the families can get involved, because we all know people have, we all have kids that we've seen the Wiggles just way too many times.
Absolutely.
But we're going to have the people who wrote those songs come and perform for the families and stuff, so they'll have it all day. Well, not all day, but a lot of the day over in Lawrence Plaza, a lot of that. Now, this is a fundraiser for the All Fly Away Foundation, this festival.
Okay.
And now all the money that we raise goes to our You Can Fly songwriting program. Now, that is a way that we engage local songwriters. We employ them, we take them into schools, and they spend a week with the kids in their regular classrooms. So for you, for instance, we would take you and say you're going to be in the Fayetteville school system. We're going to put you in the 3rd grade in the regular classroom, an hour a day for a week.
Oh, wonderful.
And we're going to teach the basics of songwriting, rhyme and rhythm, verse and chorus. These are very simple things. And we'll ask the kids, what are you studying? And then we'll get 5 or 6 different things. We'll write it on the board. And then the kids will vote on which one they want to write with. So if they choose penguins, we'll say, okay, we're going to write a song about penguins. And so we just say, well, tell me about penguins. So we brainstorm.
Now I have a question. You've got to interject.
Sure.
How do you educate the educator? And let me preface this with a
Educate the
story.
educator.
With a story here.
Okay.
I am involved with our local blues society, the Ozark Blues Foundation, and the Blues Foundation in general, I compete. I go visit International Blues Challenge in Memphis every year, and I try to remain involved as much as I can in youth education and underprivileged, and so we get involved in, it's called Blues in Schools Education. And the first time I got called in to go and talk to...
You were terrified, weren't you?
I had no idea how to tell these impressionable youth. For the first class was 8th graders.
Yeah, oh my.
The second time was the entire elementary school.
First of all, your class is too big.
Oh,
my opinion, but
it was. But at the same time, I was grateful to be thrown into that situation where it's like, well, okay, well, what do you really know? People can ask you, adults can ask you for your resume skills all day long. Yeah. When a child asks you, you really second guess yourself. So, no, I'm curious, when you choose your songwriters to help educate.
Right.
Do you have a curriculum for them?
We do. We have a curriculum. So as we have songwriters, we spend time with them beforehand, and we educate them on the method we'd like to use, because we've developed this over the last 4 years of trial and error, what works, what doesn't. And it's a very simple program, but you need to learn the basics of what we're trying to get through, because we have been through the fire of going, oh, that didn't work. So, we'll have a program, and as our You Can Fly program grows, and we want to take it nationally, internationally maybe, then we will have conferences or something like that, education, so that everyone will be on the same page, teaching the exact same things.
Wouldn't it be great if a music curriculum was just as easily accessible across the board as, let's say, I don't know, surgery? Like an orthopedic surgery, you know what you're going to get. I mean, a lot of people have the privilege to continue education, go to college. Some people don't.
Right.
And I find a lot of the people that I've come in contact with, songwriters and musicians, have been the people that kind of had the hard route. They didn't get to go to college, started playing music early, got lucky in a lot of ways, but at the same time didn't quite have the education to go along with it. So knowing that there is an outlet out there that is not as intimidating as the university.
Right.
That paperwork to get inside to college is overwhelming as it is.
And we actually pay you. What a concept.
Who knew? Paying an artist.
Paying an artist for, yes, paying it. We hire local artists and put them to work. We do that for several reasons, but we do it so that you as an artist can continue to create. You don't have to go out and take a second job, so you're playing, you work all day, then you can play on the weekends. This is a way to...
I've got a tear coming to my eye right now, excuse me.
But this is a way, too, to reconnect with why you became a singer-songwriter, because every single one of our songwriters has said, this program has made me a better songwriter.
It's absolutely a humbling experience. Like I said, when you get in front of children, or even, they don't have to be children, they could just be people who are looking up to you to provide an inspiration or an influence at the moment. And here you are thinking you're hot stuff. You get dance. But when you break it down like that and you're put in front of someone in such an honest way, it uplifts the person who's wanting to learn, and it humbles the person who is there to teach. I think that's beautiful.
Well, you get in touch with, you remember who you are, because you can't hide with kids. There's no hiding, you know. But we do kids stuff. We also do team building with corporations, which is very interesting. Completely opposite of with the kids. I mean, you go into
not really.
Well, but kids are like, oh sure, I'll tell you whatever you want to know. And adults are scared out of their minds. You gotta pull it out of them. But once they start, they're great. But you just getting it started with the adults is hard. But if the kids are like, I'll tell you whatever. Because they're honest.
So walk us through what it's like just within a typical adult, like when you first meet this cold group of adults. I need to know this. How do you warm them up?
You usually start by singing a song they know. It's something as easy as Mary Had a Little Lamb.
That's like karaoke. I mean, we're all friends after that.
Yeah, because you've got to just like, okay, we're all here, we're all whatever, you know, and then you start. It's the same process. They need to know the basics of songwriting, because most of those guys don't write songs. They're writing marketing programs or something, you know.
So why Now, why, I want to know why you're teaching songwriting skills to people who write marketing programs.
Because if you think about it, you put a group of people together, and yet all of a sudden they've got a common goal. If they can find common ground to write about, they're better marketers. They're better everything. Their brain kicks in on a different side.
I've never considered it that way.
Well, Lamar Alexander, he's a senator out of Tennessee. And he did this, not a lot of people know this, so I know I'm put on television. But he's a songwriter back, and he was a friend of our family. He, back in Congress like 4 years ago, brought a professional songwriter to Congress and said, we're going to sit down in a room. If we can write a song together, we can change laws together.
Y'all taking note? This is on this, y'all.
I mean, it's a big deal.
This?
I mean, and they wrote a song together, and they started working better together as a group because they found we're all concerned about the same thing. It's just the way we're saying it. So if we can all say it in a song and communicate, hello, it works. We all get the message. And then we get to interpret it the way we need to interpret it ourselves.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so the team building, it is amazing to see team building. Or even with a group, we've done a group at the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame. It was just an open call. We had no idea what we were going to do. We did an open call for the town of Muskogee. And we had about 25 people there from age 7 to age 70. And we wrote a song about our bucket list, which was very interesting when you've got a 7-year-old and a 70-year-old looking at a bucket list. We had teenagers, we had everything, and they all worked as a group, and we wrote a song in like 4 hours. And it was great.
What comes out of these songs? Is it something that they take away, or do you guys record, or
No, we
publish?
don't. Now with the kids in school, because we hire the songwriter, it becomes a works for hire, so all this stuff comes back to us, and we do releases and everything, so that any songs that are written come back to the foundation. If there's ever any money made off of it, it goes right back into the program, so more people can learn.
That's amazing. Well, are there any more points that you would like to touch on before we close your...
Oh my goodness. Well,
segment?
please come to the festival because it's going to be so fantastic.
Absolutely, and remind us again of this.
It's April 27th through the 29th in Bentonville. We have several different locations.
And we'll be able to find that on the website?
On the website, yes. And I want to mention that Coca-Cola is our presenting sponsor.
Thank you, Coca-Cola.
Thank you, Coca-Cola, because let me tell you what, Coke is one of the best partners you could ever have. They're fantastic. We've also got BMI and CSAC as partners, and the House of Songs out of Austin is one of our partners. So it's just going to be a great laid-back time to enjoy music, up close, personal, with all these songwriters. They're mostly listening rooms, so we can all hear and enjoy. There's going to be questions and answers, all the panels. There's free things and paid things, so everybody's accessible to everyone.
Well, we at the Songwriters Circle will definitely be involved. We will be there promoting and supporting.
Yes, and if anyone who's listening wants to participate, go to palmfestival.org under the artist tab, and at the bottom there's a way to submit your music.
Wonderful.
So that we can all listen, because we want to feature local and regional writers as well.
So y'all make sure you go ahead and do that. Again, I want to thank Betsy for your time. I really appreciate you. Thank you again for joining us for the Songwriters Circle. This is the last one we're doing here for 2016. We've had a good run this year. I want to thank Miss Betsy again. Y'all make a round of applause. All right, we'll be right back.